What's up, you guys? We're at the Influencer Gym influencing. Today, this video is going to be all about the high ticket sales resume. Now, if you're already in this industry, you might be thinking, they don't really ask for my resume that much, but when they do, you don't have it ready. And this video, I'm going to show you what should be on it, what shouldn't be on it. That way, you're actually considered for way more of the roles that you apply to when you apply. And this is coming from someone who's hired a lot of people in this industry. I had 30 sales reps under management in my sales agency before I sold it. So I'm telling you exactly how I would look through resumes. This is what people are doing. We got a surprise guest. Who would have guessed it's this guy? We're hitting a little push day workout, chest and tries, maybe a little shoulders. We got Tony behind the camera. So we're gonna maybe get a little bit of footage of that. There's 11 things we're gonna dive into, so stay tuned for all 11. It's 4 things that you do not need on your resume that you might think you need, and 5 things in order of most importance that you 100% need and that you should focus on. That's what we're gonna get into.
Wait, what's the math on that? You said 4 things that you don't need,
It's 11
5 things that you do need.
You're gonna learn in this video, just watch the video.
That's 9.
I just listed out some things that you don't need and things that you do need.
I got it, my bad.
It did say 11. 4 plus 5 equals 9.
9 things. Just cut that clip over. I kind of, yeah.
Dang.
I'm a YouTuber. This is Gen Z right here.
I'm trying to find something.
Who's over here DM setting while
Life of a
lifting?
DM setter, just jacked and rich.
Oh no. Dylan was talking about back squatting for the first time in 4 years. This is the last time he back squatted.
And you don't want to know what happened after that. After that insane depth. Back squatting.
Just a pimp on the lamp, man. I represent the ism. Nothing.
So, you guys, things you don't need, 4 of them, from the perspective of someone who used to do a lot of recruiting. Noah, you did recruiting, right? A little bit?
I did hire some people indeed.
All right, well, imagine this. Recruiter has your resume up in one tab of 30. They have all these resumes up. They have no idea who you are. They have no idea who these other people are. There is nothing besides the actual content of your resume that is going to make you stand out. That's why this is so important. You are literally just a number. They have no idea who you are. This is just one position they're looking to fill. They have 30, 50 resumes pulled up, not to mention the 5 other ones that they need to fill this week. So like, this is why it's so important to not do the bad stuff and focus on doing the good stuff. These sales agencies, these recruiters, business owners, for the most part, they don't use those like AI resume readers that they use in the corporate space. So you can just eliminate a lot of the keyword fancy talk stuff that doesn't actually mean anything. So the first thing that you can eliminate is the stuff about like career objective. In my opinion, doesn't really actually mean anything, because people in the high ticket space, because it's so performance based, they want to know what you've done, not what you want to do.
Very true.
So the career objective thing, like unless you just have space to fill, you don't need it. The next thing is, a lot of times on a corporate resume, you'll see people put single word like skills. They'll put communication, leadership, management, scheduling, organization, all this stuff that actually does not mean anything, because I could put leadership on my resume, just single word leadership. Noah could put leadership on his resume, and the guy over there can do it on his. They don't know who you are. Like, it all means the same thing. So like, save that space, get, I don't know, 5, 6 lines back in your resume, and build value in the actual work experience that you have. So that's number 2. It really doesn't mean anything. I don't know, in the corporate space, like they have these AI resume scanners, and like they will look for these keywords. In that case it helps, but not in the high ticket space. Another one that you can just like disregard, because most people just don't ask for it, is cover letters. Every once in a while you'll get someone will ask for a cover letter, and you know, it's gonna be pretty standard stuff, you know, like talk about the company, why you want to work there. Yes, talk about yourself a little bit, but like show that you're focused on, you know, helping the company get the outcome that they're hiring you for, not the outcome that you want the job for. There's a lot of people that try to like front load proof of the work they've done in their resume. They'll like hyperlink call recordings. They'll put like screenshots on a resume, which is the worst thing you can do. You don't need to do that. Like you don't need to hyperlink a Google Drive folder with all your screenshots of the CRM and your stats and all that. Like it's good to have that, and when they ask for it, include it, but that doesn't need to be on your resume. If anything, if you're being so front facing with that, it could almost raise like yellow flags. Like, you know, if I see someone who's doing that, it's like they're almost trying to compensate for something, or like that's my default reaction because I don't know them. Guest feature.
Yeah, so just because we're talking about resumes and everything, I was watching a podcast about this, I think it was yesterday, about like the corporate space specifically. And a lot of people, when they get into high ticket sales, they try to mirror their corporate resume, like their corporate sales resume or whatever, and do it in high ticket sales. And to kind of talk about it from the other perspective of why it's so important to have a good resume in high ticket sales, and why it's almost futile to have a good resume in corporate sales and corporate like in general. If you look at any good role worth having, there's thousands of applicants for it, right? And for sure they're using those AI data checkers and everything, and they're reading through your resume at light speed, and if you don't have the right keywords, you're not going to get picked. But the people that actually end up getting picked for corporate jobs, like no recruiters, they cold call people in management chains and everything. In the high ticket space, you're probably competing against 20 or 30 people for a role, and 15 of them probably aren't that great if you already have sales experience, which is just another reason to dial in your resume and tailor it more for the high ticket space. And honestly, like, stop thinking about resumes the same way you would with corporate, because at this point in corporate period, in any job, like, you have to know somebody to get behind the fold, which is kind of the truth of the high ticket space, which is why there's private networks, there's communities that you can join, but they don't have a high ticket network to join, so you can go be a software engineer at Adobe, you know?
Intro with a little trick. All right, bud, you stay. You're about to witness excellence right here. Heel. Heel. Sit. Spin. Twist. Sit. Lay down. Stay. Ah, down. Stay. Down. Lay. Stay. Come on. Stay. She doesn't want to do that one. Stay. Leave it. Okay. Woo. All right, y'all guys. We're at Buzzmill. It's the next day. We're drinking on that Big Tex. Don't ask me what that is. I don't really know. At the gym, we talked about 4 things. Noah added a 5th thing that you just don't need on your resume in this industry. Again, resumes, not everyone's gonna ask for them, but the ones that do, for you to be the most prepared, to get it the fastest and it look the best, it's gonna put you in a league of your own because nobody else has them ready. We're gonna go in ascending order from the least important to the most important. And when I say least, it's still important. These are the top 5 most important things. Number 5, and this might not make so much sense like in the ascending order right now, but number 5, I put down other things / your edge. So there's things, think about the main components of a resume. You have your experience, where you went to school, trainings, your contact information, and then there's like a lot of other things you could put. You could put languages that you speak, you could put softwares that you know, you could put interests or other skills or hobbies. So number 5, I like to kind of assess what is most valuable that you have and put that on there if you have room. And again, this is weird because we're going in ascending order. A lot of times I'll have people put their interest on a resume. So let's just say they have 2 lines left on their resume. We'll do like real estate, entrepreneurship, reading, fitness, swimming, I don't know, like things that make you sound productive, because those are conversation starters. And if the offer that you're applying to just so happens to be in the niche of something that you're interested in, people will see that and they'll like it and they'll take note of it. So hopefully that kind of makes sense now. But if you speak Spanish, that should be on your resume. If you speak another language, it should be on your resume. If you have software proficiencies that are like relevant to the high ticket space, you need to make sure they're relevant. So like CRMs, Close, Go High Level, Pipedrive, not really. Maybe HubSpot, not really Salesforce. Calendly, go high level like scheduling. It's not even worth putting on your resume Microsoft Word or Microsoft applications or whatever. So that's the fifth thing. Other things, or like your unique edge that other people do not have. The fourth thing is formal education. I always tell people, man, I've got a bachelor's degree from a Division I school. That has not landed me a single job. It has not even landed me an interview in this industry. So you should absolutely include it, because it shows that you can commit to something for 4 years despite what you might have studied. But it's not going to move the needle. Like in the corporate space, that will get you an interview, especially in like a tech sales role or something like that. If you went to a good university, I have people in my community that went to like really, really good schools. I mean, it doesn't even make a difference. Like, I would rather see someone with a lot of sales experience than someone with a big university name on their resume. So number 4 is the formal education. Put it on there if you have it. If you don't have it, don't sweat it. Number 3 is relevant education or sales education. So in my opinion, after hiring a bunch of people, looking through a bunch of resumes, helping people build resumes to get them hired, they love to see that you have some sort of like sales training, education, whether it was on your own or through a company, whether you paid for it or not. There are certain trainings in the high ticket space that if you put them on there, you put the name of who runs it, you're gonna get a lot more traction on your resume. That's why in the community, we have people put the community, the serial sales community, on their resume, and it helps them a lot. For one reason, like a lot of what you're selling in this space is coaching, consulting. It's like a service to other people, and a lot of these sales trainings are kind of that. And so one, it looks good because you yourself believe in the power of investing in these things to get better, but also it's a way to connect the dots. I always talk about, there's 2 main things that we're assessing. It's 1, do you have sales experience? 2, do you have industry experience? If you don't have that much sales experience, or you don't have that much industry experience, you can kind of bridge the gap by having these trainings under your belt. Example, like Cole Gordon's RCA, Jeremy Miner's 7th level, the serial sales community. That'll help you a ton more than any kind of formal education. And I always title that either like relevant education, sales education, high ticket sales education. Even if you've gone through something that's like an agency coaching program and you learned sales through that, put that on there. If you've gone through a copywriting program and they taught you how to sell your services, put that on there, because they love to see the alternative education. So that's number 3. I'm doing this as well in the order that it should go in on your resume. So at the bottom is usually interest. If you speak a second language, I would put that at the top. And then we go formal education is towards the bottom. The relevant education I put towards like the middle. And these 2 things, the last 2 things, are the most important by far. The second thing being your work experience and the way that you write it up. So in an ideal world, you have sales experience. Not everyone has that when they get into this. That's okay. Just how you should be accepting jobs based on data, not projections. These companies want to hire based on data, not projection. They want to know that you have done the thing, you have driven quantifiable results to any kind of organization you're a part of, sales or not. If you have sales experience, it's going to make it so much easier. If you don't, it's all about showing how you made a difference in a company in a quantifiable way, whether you were saving them time, saving them money, increasing efficiency, hiring people, training people. The big thing that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you're writing this in a way that's understood to someone who's not in your industry. So I always tell people, write this out as if you're trying to talk to your like 10-year-old cousin and show them how good you are at the job. You have to give all the context around it to show that you're better than most people, or you're better than what they expect of you. So that looks like comparing yourself to teammates, comparing yourself to quotas. Because if you just say you were in car sales, let's say you're in car sales, you say I sold $5 million of cars in my first year. If you come to me and you're trying to apply to a job with me, I've never sold cars. I don't know if that's amazing or if that's why you got fired and you're looking for a job. So you have to provide context, like sold 5 million cars, ranking first out of 12 sales reps in the dealership. Like that means something. Or beat my quota by 140% in year 1. That means something. 5 million in cars by itself, I mean, it sounds good, but I have no way to really know. That's the experience. If you don't have sales experience, focus on the quantifiable results. If you do have sales experience, make sure you're comparing yourself to metrics or to like things that anybody in any industry can understand. Not just sales volume, not close rate. Those are all metrics that depend on other metrics that people don't have insight over, so they don't mean anything unless you explain it. And if they just open your resume, you're not going to explain it. They're just going to not know what you're talking about. Experience the write-up. This is honestly, when it comes to like the content of it, that is the most important part. That's always the first thing I put on the resume, right under the contact. 1A right here. So one is the big one, but 1A is that contact information. First and last name, city, state, phone number, email. If you have a good LinkedIn, put that, hyperlink it. It could be 2 lines. That's pretty simple. Don't that up. Name should be bigger. Try like 16-point font or 11-point for the stuff beneath it. The number one most important thing for your resume is the formatting. It is, how does this resume look when I open it up? Does it hurt my eyes and my brain after I've already been looking at 10 or 20 other resumes? When you are one resume in a sea of 20, 30 resumes for a job, they're skimming resumes. They're not reading everything. So like, even if your experience is written up super thoroughly, but it looks like shit, they're gonna think you don't pay attention to detail. They're gonna think you are not aware enough to know that the presentation of this is not good, and that is a reflection of you as a sales professional. It's the same thing like with the Loom videos. You could be the most well-spoken person on earth. If you pull up on your Loom introduction video and you look like shit and your hair's crazy, I probably have crazy hair right now, but your background's messy, before you even open your mouth, you're gonna be judged. If I had to actually tell you guys what that looks like, it's like same font all the way around, same font size, same section. So like the title section should all have the same font size. Maybe that's a little bit bigger than the body section. When you're writing up your experience, I always go single line. We don't want lines running over. I'll actually link in the description a good resume template for you guys and a tool to help build your resume and to write it better. I don't usually share these, but I will for this video. And we're talking like, you know, bold fonts where we can, italicized fonts where we can, making sure your dates are all backed up to the right side of the margin on the page. Like this is an art. And even if you don't have that much experience, we've seen people who do this formatting thing to a T that get noticed, they get recognized, they get interviews despite not having sales experience. Like, should I actually read this or just skim it or go on to the next? Like, this is the most important thing. If you have like 2 resumes, one is, let's say you don't have that much sales experience, but you have 2 resumes. One is formatted to the nines. It's perfect. The other one is not that good. It's sloppy, different fonts, sizes, all this stuff. I mean, if you send that into 50 applications, all the other stuff doesn't matter. That's literally the difference of you getting 10 interviews and 2. This is so top of funnel, you submitting your resume, that if you're not maximizing that, you're severely limiting the throughput of your application funnel. So yeah, make sure your resume is formatted. That, in my opinion, it's totally an effort thing too. Your experience that is actually on the resume, sure, you have control over that, but you can't snap your fingers and make it perfect. The formatting, you can. And so like, it's a display of effort. It shows your attention to detail or lack thereof. Why not maximize this if you have the opportunity? What is more important than the resume itself is knowing the right people that can refer you into roles or get roles in front of you before 100 people submit a resume to be considered. That way you can come into the application funnel sooner. You can come in warmer off a recommendation, because to be real, a lot of these top-notch roles, they're not asking for resumes. Again, we want to be prepared when they do. The reality is they're not asking for that. They're getting referrals. They're getting people who come from the serial sales community, because the serial sales community has like a good name in the space. That is more important. Again, not saying don't do the resume, don't pay attention to it. Focus on the highest leverage things, like being in a network where you can be referred into roles is the highest leverage thing. Anyways, I mentioned the community a couple times. That's what we focus on. We're really focused on the handoff of like, okay, you get the job, now you run with the job. We have sales training and all that, but dude, you can go on YouTube and find sales training. Our priority is like walking people to the point of accepting roles in this space and making sure they're good. So we work with you on the resume. We work on like the positioning of your past experience. We help you like track applications and the result of those, and we coach you on the sticking points of your applications, whether it's interviews or where you're applying, the volume of applications. That's what we do, man. So first link in the description, we'll literally help you rebuild your resume. I personally rebuild resumes for every single person in there. I've been doing that for a year, and I've been hiring a lot of people like for our sales agency that I sold out of, but like I did all the hiring. I kind of know what I'm talking about. Anyways, you guys, go to the first link in the description if you want this like done for you, and you want access to probably about 200 jobs per month that other people aren't seeing. That's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna put those templates in the description. I'll see you guys in the community. Peace.